All right, so the polyurethane didn't fit, and I'm gonna no bump stop left. Like, I mean, if you want to call it some good news, and I guess some bad news. So
Perfect.
So we getting right into it. We getting right into it, gang. I already got Sasha up in the air. Most of this front spring shock assembly is disconnected. I just have the front A-arm held on by this bolt right there, and everything else is disconnected. So as soon as I pull that bolt out, it'll swing forward. I can disconnect the shock up here with these 1, 2, 3 bolts there, and then it'll drop and we can get busy. So let's give a quick update to the parts. Sorry for the wind, but it's summertime here in Florida, and if you've never been to Florida in the summertime, good for you. If you have, then you already know why the fan going. All right, so these, the spring top hats, strut top hats, whatever you want to call them, you know, these are very soft aluminum to the point where they don't even come with threads, because you make the threads for them once you install them. You know, last time I did it, I didn't torque them. I was using the wrong gun. I was supposed to be using the screw gun, and I was using the impact gun, and I over tightened them and it stripped the threads out. So I had to buy these. On a couple videos ago of building Sasha, you know, building Olivia, we lowered her, did a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna put the full build playlist inside so you guys can see all the crazy reliability and performance mods me and Omar did. That Omar right there. Me and Omar did to this car. And once we took the suspension assembly apart up front, we noticed that the bump stop was pretty much ate up, and these little accordion protector cups were like all shredded to pieces. So I ordered those, so I'm glad it's coming back out so I can put that in, make it look brand new. Also, we have polyurethane sway bar bushings, which I don't know if these will fit or not because they're not made for the 7 Series, but that's just on paper that is not made for the 7 Series, but they look exactly the same, so hopefully these work. That'll be a good secret mod I'm gonna show you guys about. And then we have engine mount inserts. These aren't the full engine mounts. As I say, this isn't a race car, but I do want the engine mounts to last as good as possible, as long as possible. And this is a big, heavy sedan. LI is big and very, very heavy. So, I mean, smashing the gas and getting this thing off of a dead stop, you know, it's hell on the engine mount, especially for a 6-cylinder straight 6 turbo. You know, so these will help that, you know, transfer more of that power. We already rebuilt the entire drive shaft with new bushings and center bearing too. That will also be in the playlist videos. And we have, since we're touching the sway bar, we're going ahead with sway bar end links, and hopefully this is what stops that noise, because since we lowered the car, I mean, this car is almost 10 years old, so I mean, most of the stuff is gonna need replacing anyways. But once we lowered her, she started to get a squeak over bumps and humps and stuff like that. It sounds horrible. So hopefully this is the arm to fix that, you know. So we're gonna pop these in. And with Movie Magic, the strut spring assembly, however it is, spring coil assembly, strut assembly, front suspension assembly, whatever the hell you want to call it, it's out. And if you want to know how to take this out, I have a video taking this out when we lowered it the first time. That video is also in the playlist for building the 7 Series. You know, Omar did most of it. You see him right there. He tried to be so humble, like he don't fix shit, when he be fixing mostly everything on the car. Mr. Wow. Boosted, I told him that you did most of the work on here.
Like you talking shit.
No, for real, you did. But this time, okay, these are the springs that Omar put on in the first video, the lowering springs. But as you can see, the what it's called, Omar, bump stop?
Yeah.
See the bump stop? It looks like pure hell, like it's been through pure hell. And also this little cover, accordion cover, is also ruined. So, I mean, I would have just left it like that, honestly, if I didn't have to replace these top spring perch assemblies. As you can see, they're all waddled out and the threads are scripted in all of them because I used the impact like an idiot instead of using the regular screw gun with a low powered gun here and then torqued it. Well, got it tight with this one and then torqued it by hand. I just used this gun, which was way more power than was supposed to be on there, but I wasn't paying attention and I was trying to get it done, so we getting it fixed. So I'm gonna drop this other side and get this put on and show you what it looked like with the new bump stop, the new spring perch top hat or whatever it's called, and the new accordion cover. So let's get this thing put on.
A few moments later.
And we have it done. As you can see, it's a new top, brand new rubber in there, new holes ready to be threaded by the bolts, which you want to thread those while it's in the car. You don't want to thread them on there. I just put the bolt in it. And it has a brand new bump stop and protector cover. Now that looked like a shock assembly, strut assembly, whatever you want to call it. That's how it's supposed to look. And this is what we got rid of. It was pretty much no bump stop left. Like, I mean, if you want to call this a bump stop, I guess you can call it that. Like, that's horrible. And this isn't even a full length. Most of it just broke apart when I took it off. And this is the old top hat here. And as you can see, the threads are pretty much literally screwed. I mean, that's horrible. You know, so I'm gonna make sure I do this by hand this round, you know, all torqued by hand. And now it's time to get this side out. I'm gonna do this side off camera because there's no need to do this side on camera when, you know, let me get some light in here so you can see how the assembly look. Like, look at that, that's horrible. That looks like pure trash. And look how much orange Cheeto dust everywhere. You know, got the Cheeto dust suspension. So let's hurry up and get that side done. All right, so we got everything done. Look at that, light work. Brand new bump stops. Brand new covers, brand new bump stops, brand new covers, everything light work on both sides. Ooh. But now I dropped the shield and you can see the old sway bar bushing there. You can tell it was squeaking from the get-go because somebody been spraying shit on it already. Whoever had it before me been spraying, like, I think that's like liquid silicone or something like that, or some type of dry lubricant. But like I was telling you, with these polyurethane bushings, these are not made for the 7 series. They're only made for the 6 and the 5. But it's so much other stuff on the 7 series that also goes on the 6 and the 5 series. I just bought them anyways, and that looks to be the same to me. So I'm gonna pop it on and see anyways, you know, and how to get this sway bar. Oh, and I'm also changing the sway bar end links. That's why I didn't put them back on, because I'm swapping those out too. Just do everything brand new on the sway bar. You know, if you redo the bushing, redo the end links. So just to pop these end links off, you just need to take off that 14 right there. Or is that a 14? Let me make sure before I tell y'all the wrong thing. No, it's an 18. Take that 18 off right there, and the end link pop right off. And then you have two, I think those are E14s. Look a little bigger than E14s, but I'll tell you what it is right here on the screen. So I'm finna pop this off and see if these fit. Hopefully they fit, because we in the money if they do. All right, so the polyurethane didn't fit. And I'm gonna pretty much show you why they don't fit. As you can see, the polyurethane bushing is a little shorter. I'm gonna put this on something that something flatter. There we go. As you can see, the polyurethane bushing is a little shorter than the original bushing, and from BMW, the 7 Series doesn't even come with serviceable let me turn this light on, serviceable sway bar bushings, but this was a bushing that I found, and the guy cross-referenced the number and said it fit, and it fits perfectly. So usually when you want a new sway bar bushing for the 7 Series, you have to buy an entire new sway bar because BMW doesn't have a part number for it. That's the whole reason I went with the polyurethane ones, but they were a little too small. So I'm gonna send those back, and these actually work perfect. So I'm gonna leave the link for these bushings these bushings in the description. So you want to definitely go with these. So what I'm gonna do now is I painted the sway bar because there was a little bit of rubber stuck to it from the bushing being on it for so long. So I sanded it down and painted it. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and switch this arm out. And I also took the old end links off, so when it dries completely, I'll put the new end links on. These end links don't even look like they were bad. Like, they look perfectly fine, honestly, but I mean, I'm gonna swap them anyways. These things are almost 10 years old, so no need to have them. And as you can see, I already have poly here on the thrust arm, and I'm gonna buy the polyurethane upper arm, this wishbone arm here, the polyurethane bushings that goes in there, just cause. All right, so I have the control arms out, and they weren't bad as I thought, but they do have cracks in them, as you can see right there. At first I thought it was just like, you know, a little like line on it, but when you put your finger in it, it's definitely deep. So, and that one's even worse. So we got, I haven't put these on yet, but all of those are changed. And as you can see, let me turn this light on. Everything is brand new now, and they have an upgraded boot on it. I think it's a Viton rubber boot, and it comes with nylon lock nuts on the end now. So we got that done. You want to make sure you preload this too. Preload them before you tighten it up, or it's gonna just tear the bushings apart. And we got both sides changed, so that'll complement those polyurethane thrust arm bushings. Very, very nice. So hopefully all this stuff that I just did get rid of the squeaking that was happening when we lowered it, because like I told you, once we lowered the car, over any hump or bump, it sounds horrible. You know, you can't really hear it on the outside, but it resonates in the cabin, and it makes the car sound horrible. So I really hope this fixed it. So now I'm finna put the sway bar up, put the new sway bar bushings on, and I guess we're gonna take it for a test drive.
The next day.
And I got some good news and I guess some bad news. So 70, maybe 75% of the noise that the front suspension was making is gone. You know, so whatever I did change, whatever the problem is, it dampened it, you know, extensively. So, you know, we tracking it down. I would just go ahead and jump in and just rebuild a whole front end, but you know, that's not cost effective, and we don't have one of those very extremely expensive machines where you put the car in the air and it bounces each wheel around suspended in the air, where you can actually put the stethoscope on each suspension part to find out which bushing is making the noise. I mean, I can just only imagine how much those cost. But I mean, we're down to really only the wishbone, because everything else has been changed. Bushing wise, yeah, I think everything has been changed. You know, and I don't think the outer tie rods, those definitely look pretty dry rotted, but I don't think they would make that type of noise, but I'm going to replace those too. But I am ordering the upper wishbone bushings, and those will be polyurethane as well. And part of the bad news, the engine mount inserts don't work for this car. They work for every other N55 BMW but the 7 Series. So that's a total bummer. So I had to send those back. And another good thing is, you know, heavy cornering. The car used to be a lot of body roll. I mean, this is a very heavy car. But when I changed those front sway bar bushings, not with the polyurethane ones, those didn't fit. With just the original versions that doesn't even supposed to exist, because BMW doesn't even have a part number for the bushings for the BMW. And I know they don't, because when I took the old bushings off, they were fused to the sway bar, and I actually had to sand the rubber off of the sway bar because they fuse it to the sway bar to force you to buy an entire sway bar. But the bushings that I'm gonna have down in the description, a link for that, they work, and they work very good. This thing felt like a race car around the corner. I mean, it was almost literally no body roll. It just swooped right around the corner. It's crazy. So definitely upgrade those front sway bar bushings with the ones down in the link, especially if you have a car over 5 years old. They probably shot anyways, you know. But Powerflex does make the rear bushings for the sway bar in polyurethane, so I will be changing those. But yeah, so I mean, there's definitely gonna be another part to this video. See when I do those wishbone bushings. And you know, I'm thinking about ordering another performance part. You know, I'm not totally ready to tune the car yet until we get all the bugs worked out, like the creaks and cracks and noises and all of that crap. I want all of that stuff taken care of before you add power, because if you add power before fixing all the problems, it will expose that weak link immediately. Then you got a totally different problem on your hands. So like, share, subscribe, and Auto Lust out.